Where's Mr. Boyce? Is he here? Yeah, stand up, sir, for a second, if you don't mind. That young man back there, 15 years ago.
Joe!
Mr. Boyce is a reporter for the Wall Street Journal, just retired. Mr. Boyce and I met one lonely evening in New York when I performed heart surgery on him. And I still remember spending the entire evening worried about that dear soul because his wife was right next to me and wouldn't let me forget about him. And thinking about, and I remember the anatomy of his heart and exactly what was going on in those blood vessels. That's the connection that healers used to have in an era bygone. But as wonderful as Mr. Boyce is, I spent a lot of time with patients wheeling them down the gurney to the operating room, coming down from my office, recognizing that what I was about to do to them, take a bandsaw and cut through their bone, was unnecessary. If I could just have gotten the word out to them a little bit earlier about what they could have done with their lifestyle, we wouldn't have had to have this conversation or this operation. And that's why, about 10 years ago, my wife, a strong-willed woman like many of you, told me to get off my tail and start talking about television programs that we might be able to make together. That's how I met Oprah. And that's how ultimately 3 years ago she said, go out and make a show happen. And so, without any question, I was motivated because someone in my community, my home, my wife, said, you got to make this change. I expect that same degree of commitment from many of the folks who are here today and from the people who trust you with information, because that's how we're going to make change occur. So, this is a big challenge we face in America. People are pushing as hard as they can to get healthy, but they can't read the instructions, either because they're scared about them, they don't understand them, or it's not made clear to them. So what we want to do is try to change that. And the question then becomes, how do you make that happen? Now, the potential to make this happen is only present in a few hands. This is an article that was written this past month by the CDC Journal about community communication. And without any question, it is, I think, the best choice to get public health information out there. It works better than anything else. They actually specifically talked about Tom Joyner, Steve Harvey, and Michael Baisden, chronicling in great detail the power of radio in the African American community. But, television and print media, the web, all of these play an important role as well. So the U.S. government gets it. They know that you're ultimately going to be the most effective tool, the most effective one in our quiver of potential arrows we can use to poke holes in the different obstacles that we face in healthcare in this country. So Ms. Winfrey, who's been a wonderful mentor to me my entire media life, and over the last decade she's taught me a lot. She's taught me, number one, people do not change what they do based on what they know. They change what they do based on what they feel. You probably get that already, but I can tell you I didn't. As a typical male who happens to be a surgeon, my mantra was to fix, 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 fix. One of my teenage daughters comes to me with a problem with her boyfriend, get him on the phone. And just the idea that you sort of sit there and witness the emotion and just let it happen, that was the biggest challenge I had when I started the show. I wanted to quickly get into why you felt that way and fix it, when all you wanted me to do is hear it. A lot of the people that we are talking to about health issues need to have their message heard first. Second, it's got to be upbeat. If I'm talking to you about breast cancer, Rene, and I put a mammogram machine out there, you're not going to flock out there to get your breast checked because it's a scary thought. So you have to turn the message around. It's empowering and cool to know if you've got something or not wrong with you. And it's got to be transformational. Using real anatomy, engaging factoids, news you can use that changes your life day in and day out.
Dr. Osler, can I just go back for just a moment?
Yes.
So you're talking about an upbeat message, and we mentioned breast cancer. And for those of you who may or may not know my story, I had a prophylactic mastectomy because I have a family history of breast cancer, mother and father with breast cancer. Do you think it's important to have this face on, say, a breast cancer, to be able to disseminate that information that breast cancer caught in its earliest stages is 97% curable?
Yeah.
I mean, is it important to really have that personal connection,
without
like
question.
what you were talking about with the radio?
Without question. In fact, in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how we try to put a face on the uninsured in America for that very reason, Rene. Because, if you see yourself, I'm going to show you a little clip from the show now to demonstrate how we try to do this. If you see yourself doing something, or someone who looks like you doing something, then all of a sudden you can make the connection. The mirror neurons in your brain, the neurons that allow us to have empathy for each other, they start to fire. So as opposed to speaking abstractly about some scary thing like cancer, which especially in the African American community is really taboo. That and psychiatric problems, just people don't talk about it. Those are the kinds of things that I think we can overcome by putting a face on it that makes it come alive.